Hello everyone, welcome along to round 8 of the LB Racing Series. Tonight we are at Mount Panorama, as you can see on your screens in front of you here. Thank you everyone for tuning in for this spectacular race that we're going to have tonight. If you can, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we will start to get the action away here tonight. It's going to be an interesting one. Barriers nice and close to the track, so we're going to see a lot of action here. Yeah, we're getting towards the end of the championship now, but let's see what has happened so far. So we do have Hugh there in 15th, Mad J 14th, D Young 13th, Boldy 12th, Wacky in 11th, Fatman 10th, Donnie in 9th, and Drew in 8th place in the bottom half of the table there. So definitely some places to play for in the bottom half. It is quite close between quite a few of the drivers. Let's have a look at the top half of the table. So we've got Foxy Dev there in 7th, Mike there in 6th, Gear Kayla 5th, Sprinkler 4th, Mario in 3rd, LBR Lewis 2nd, and Gavsky in 1st. So very close between the top two, only 3 points between them, and then really close between 3rd all the way down to 6th, only 10 points between them. Going back to the last round, driver of the day went to LBR Lewis, so congratulations to him. Can he do anything to close that 3-point gap to Gavsky, who is winning the championship at the moment? It is close between those two, and don't forget to vote for your driver of the day throughout this video. You can catch that in the comments. Strategy for tonight, I think it's only going to be a one-stop race. There's no chance of rain, so it's either going to be drivers starting on the soft and moving on to the hard, or starting on hard and moving on to the soft. I don't think we're going to see anyone do a double pit stop unless they get damaged. Now let's have a look at what happened in qualifying. So qualifying, Gear Kayla didn't set a time, so he starts on 11th. Fatman there in 10th, with Johnny in 9th place. We've got Drew there starting in 8th tonight, with Foxy Dev in 7th. We've then got Mad J, aka Rich, there in 6th, with Mario in 5th, Sprinkler taking 4th spot, with Gavsky in 3rd, Hugo there in 2nd, and pole tonight is LBR Lewis. Can he make it another win and get back the lead of the championship? Let's find out. Right, let's get into the action here for round number 8 of the series. The cars coming round and taking the start of the race now, and they are underway. So it's LBR Lewis leading the cars away into turn 1. Can he really get the lead of the championship in this round? We've got 30 minutes to find out. As I said, it's LBR Lewis leading the cars away. Got a nice little lead there as they start to head up towards the hill section. Hugo there in a second. Look at the speed these cars are carrying as they come into what is effectively the second corner. So Hugo there in 2nd, Gavsky in 3rd still, Sprinkler in 4th over the back of Gavsky, with Mario in 5th. Mario having a look up the inside of Sprinkler there. Rich in 6th place, Froxy in 7th, we've got Drew in 8th, Johnny is in 9th, Gear Kayla has got himself up into 10th, and Old get there in 11th. As we're at the top of the hill now, into the downhill section. Cars absolutely flying through the downhill section. LBR Lewis trying to build a gap here. Looks like he's trying to create himself a bit of space from the drivers that are in 2nd and 3rd, which is Hugo still and Gavsky. And we come on up onto the back straight for the first time in this race. There's definitely a gap building up from Mario in 5th to Rich in 6th, so I think Rich may be on the hard tyre at the start of this race. But everyone keeping it nice and clean on lap 1. We haven't had an incident at Barfest, which is got to be something said there. Driver's doing a great job. Elga's fastest lap of the race, but obviously is lap 1. So expect to see these times tumble down as we get on through the race. Not expecting any rain here tonight, unlike the previous 2 race meetings, where we had rain at Suzuka and before that we had rain at Spa. So not expecting any rain here tonight. So as we said before in the build-up, we're expecting just the one stop, drivers going from either the soft onto the hard or the hard onto the soft tyre. But Lewis definitely got a bit of a gap building up there. Mario then there has a nice bit of a gap from Rich behind in 6th, with Foxy in 7th place, Brew in 8th. Johnny is there in 9th place. Kayla in 10th. Kayla going all nice and sideways there, flipping the barrier a little bit with the rear end of the car. And I'll get in 11th. Closed up that gap a little bit from when we previously saw. But it is LBR Lewis still in the lead of this race. Come through the downhill section, trying to build up that gap. That's definitely got a bit of a gap building up to Hugo. Hugo appears to be under a bit of pressure behind from Gavsky now. So Gavsky's broken away with Hugo from Sprinkler and Mario. Gavsky keeping Hugo honest here. Having a look. Is Gavsky behind? Potentially thinking of how he's going to get past. As it stands at the moment, this would give LBR Lewis back the lead of the championship. But Gavsky, I think, is going to have other things to say about that. He seems to be pushing on here now, wants to get past Hugo as quickly as possible. Sprinkler not a million miles off back this. Can he make it another podium? Last lap of 2 minutes 6.6. LBR Lewis did a 2.5.273, which is faster than his qualifying time. So he is definitely pushing on Mario. Still in 5th, so these guys are definitely broken away. You can see Rich there in the background, so nice little gap building up there to Rich, 6th position. Froxy in 7th. Drew's dropped back to 8th. Johnny in 9th, but we've got Gear Kayla is now in 9th, so Gear Kayla going for an overtake. Gear Kayla getting the move done on Johnny, who's dropped down to 7th. I'll get there in 11th. But it is LBR Lewis is now at the top of the hill. A massive gap here. Oh, he goes off. LBR Lewis has gone off. Oh, keeps out of the barrier. That is going to give Gavsky, who is now in 2nd, is caught up a massive amount of pace there. Let's go back and have a look at everything that happened there to get Gavsky up into 2nd, but LBR Lewis almost dropping the lead. So LBR Lewis coming into the top of the hill, flips that barrier on the inside, out into the front, almost collects the wall on the other side as well. Back on the track, manages to keep it going, but has lost a lot of time in that one. Wow, so a lot of things happened there in a short space of time, but it is LBR Lewis in the lead still. Still got a bit of a gap, but has definitely lost time to Gavsky in 2nd. Hugo in 3rd. So Hugo still holding on to the podium. It's got a little bit misty here over the track. Sprinkler in 4th, but Sprinkler has Mario for company. Mario looking all over the back of Sprinkler, trying to get past Mario as Sprinkler shutting the door and saying, "No mate, you're not getting around me that easily." These two are fighting for effectively 3rd in the championship. So this is a battle that's been going on all season, with Gear Kayla included as well. But Gear Kayla obviously starting in 11th. It's a lot to do tonight. So can Mario get past Sprinkler? Dropped back a little bit now on this lap. Rich having a great race on the hard tyre in 6th. Lovely gap. to that gaggle of cars behind you can see there in the background, which is led by Froxy. Then got Drew behind. Gear Kayla now up into 9th place. So Gear Kayla joining this fight as well. Johnny in 10th and Old Git there in 11th. So Old Git having a good race. At the back, anyone, well, they're all having a good race to be fair. None of them in the barrier. So Old Git gets very close and wide there. It's an interesting line there from Old Git on that corner, but it seems to be working for him. Back to the race leader. Look at that photographer there, just on the bank, taking some lovely snaps. Hopefully I get the thumbnail picture. LBR Lewis has built himself a nice lead again. Listen to that engine roar as they come down the back straight. He's got one hell of a lead built up. But Gavsky has been released from the back of Hugo now. So Gavsky pushing on hard now. Hugo still in 3rd place. A nice lead over Sprinkler in 4th. Sprinkler again, looks like he's got Mario for company. Mario looking up the inside. Mario getting lovely and close. So we've got Drew is coming for a pit stop. I believe that'll be to potentially repair some damage and get rid of these soft tyres and onto the hard. But Mario over the back of Sprinkler here. Can Mario get past? Looks for the inside, gets up the inside. Doesn't make it work there. Now he's basically tucked in behind all up the hill unless he can go for some audacious move. There's really nowhere to overtake going up the hill. It would have to be an audacious effort to get past going up the hill or down the hill for that matter. You can maybe do it when you're at the top of the hill. There's potentially a bit of space there to do it there, but he's going for it. He's gone for it. And that is Mario up into P4. A little bit of grass cutting there, but keeps it under control. Mario up into P4. Great overtake there from him. So that drops Sprinkler down to 5th. Still got Rich there in 6th. And Rich not too far behind these guys. And he's on the hard tyres. So Rich having a great race. Definitely a shout for a podium here from Rich, I think, at the moment. Because he is on it on these hard tyres. Gear Kayla up into 7th place. So Gear Kayla has got Froxy and has got Johnny. So Gear Kayla getting himself up through the action there. Ended 7th. Great result here for Gear Kayla so far from 11th on the grid. Froxy in 8th. And we do have LBR Lewis is into the pits. LBR Lewis into the pits now. Johnny in 9th. Old Git is up into 10th, obviously after Drew's pit stop, and Drew is out the pits and in to 11th. So that now means race leader goes to Gavsky. So he hasn't pitted off this soft, so he's going around for another lap. Hugo stays out. Mario stays out as well. Rich on the hard tyre stays out. And Rich, is he going to get right in front of Obiolus? Obiolus just coming out of the pits, getting the car up to speed. Rich all over the back. Are we going to see an overtake here from Rich? Rich going for the inside. And LBR Lewis just goes straight on. That shows what hard tyres that are cold will do when you haven't warmed them up. So yeah, he drops behind Rich into 5th place. So a little bit of work here to do. This is going to have to be quick outlet here from LBR Lewis after that to keep Gavsky behind for sure. Froxy in 6th still. So so hasn't pitted. Gear Kayla has dropped to 7th, so Gear Kayla's had a little bit of an incident there to drop back. We'll have a look and see what happened to Gear Kayla and see if we can work out what's happened to him. So on board here with Gear Kayla, comes into the corner, gets rotation in well, just goes out wide and onto the curb, and round the car goes into the barrier. And round Gear Kayla goes, manages to get going quite quickly, but has lost out some time. So Gear Kayla having a little bit of an incident there, but carrying on in 7th place. Johnny in 8th is come out in front of Sprinkler. Johnny going a little bit on the grass there, but Sprinkler coming out of the pits does have Johnny in front of him. Old Git there in 10th. Now, are we going to see the race leader Gavsky come into the pits on this lap? Are we going to see him come on in? And we are. Gavsky diving into the pits, so need to keep an eye on where LBR Lewis is on the track. Hugo is coming into the pits as well. Hugo slowing right down there, not attacking the pit entry, does not want to get a 3-second penalty. Mario coming into the pits as well. Rich, we believe, is going to carry on now. There is LBR Lewis just behind Rich, so hasn't managed to get past him yet. But where are we going to see Gavsky coming out of the pits here? Gavsky's pit crew is just getting the tyres changed and he is underway, and he is just coming out of the pits, and there's LBR Lewis. LBR Lewis has maintained the lead of the race, but Gavsky has closed up massively by doing that extra lap. He's now right behind, and he is warming up his tyres, unlike what LBR Lewis done. So Gavsky right back into the fight of this. This has put Froxy up to 4th now. Froxy running the alternative strategy as well. Hugo is now 5th. Gear Kayla up to 6th. Mario's come out in 7th, so Mario's come out ahead of Sprinkler, who Sprinkler has managed to get past Johnny, so Sprinkler there in 8th, as Johnny has pitted. So Sprinkler up to 8th. Old Git in 9th. Johnny is in 10th. Unfortunately, we have lost Drew with a disconnect. It's unfortunate there for Drew. But at the moment, Rich is leading the race on that alternative track. Look how close it is between 2nd and 3rd behind him. But Rich leading the race, coming up to the halfway point. Still on the hard tyre. Oh, LBR Lewis getting a little bit squirrely there. This is bringing Gavsky massively into play behind. Gavsky going for the lead of the race. There he is, looking around, looking for a way past. He is right on the rear bumper of LBR Lewis, going to the inside. But not fast enough there to get past at that point. We'll definitely be having more goes at that though. So Rich is staying out, he's not coming into the pits, so he's going to complete a lap in the lead. Gavsky appears to have probably on to LBR Lewis there. LBR Lewis seems to be going for more of an attack on Rich. Obviously all of these drivers are now on the hard tyre here at the front. Obviously Rich's are 15 minutes older than everyone else's. Great camera angle there as they attack turn 2 and start climbing the hill. And Gavsky appears to have been gaining a bit more ground now. Gavsky gaining ground and climbing up the hill. Foxy still in 4th. These guys have got to pit though and get onto the soft tyre. Hugo in 6th place. With Gear Kayla not too far behind. Gear Kayla pushing on well now. Mario in 7th. again, not too far behind this, and neither is Sprinkler. Might be an 8th at the moment, but has pitted with cars in front needing to pit. Forget having a solid race in 9th. And Johnny obviously already pitted. Johnny in 10th. As we go in there, LBR Lewis has, we just caught the end of an overtake there. LBR Lewis has managed to get past Rich on the back straight, so has managed to get past. Now, is Rich going to come into the pits? And yes, Rich does come into the pits, and now it is going to be a straight battle between Gavsky and LBR Lewis. So Rich into the pits, his pit crew there waiting for him and running out, ready to receive him. But Gavsky and LBR Lewis carrying on. They don't need to pit again. They are going to the end of this race. But this is hotting up and getting close at the front. This battle reminds earlier on in the season, remember at Catalonia in Spain, these two were bumper to bumper for basically 30 minutes of racing. Are we looking at a repeat here? Are these two going to be bumper to bumper all the way to the checkered flag as we just approach the 18-minute mark? So we've only got 12 minutes left of racing, and these two are putting on a spectacle here. So with the pit stop there for Rich, that promotes Hugo back into 3rd. Gear Kayla is up to 4th, so Gear Kayla having a great time there, up to 4th. I believe Fox has, but Gear Kayla gets a bit sideways. That means Rich has gone back past, so Rich into 4th. Gear Kayla is now 5th. Sprinkler up to 6th, so something has happened to Mario in 7th, so we will have a look and see what has happened to Mario there. So on board here with Mario, just comes into the corner here and just like it's got no front grip into the barrier there on the outside, gets going again, comes around this corner, and you see Sprinkler just comes around the outside and Mario just loses the back end of the car, and that is both of them into the barrier. Mario's got front end damage and so does Sprinkler from that, so not going well for both of them there. So Mario dropping down into 7th, Froxy in 8th after the pit stop, with Old Git in 9th still and Johnny in 10th. But the race leaders as Gavsky seems to be going for a move up the inside. Gavsky getting the outside. LBR Lewis is just going to send him to the outside here. Retake the inside, and there we go. Gavsky has nowhere to go. So has to cede the position, but this is hotting up between these two. Climb over those curves. Gavsky definitely applying the pressure here. Gavsky using that curb and a little bit and kicking up the dust there behind. But they're going to be climbing up the hill for another lap as we switch to the helicopter cam. Gear Kayla has come into the pits in 5th. Gear Kayla getting rid of those hard tyres. They've done him proud, almost managed to do 20 minutes on those. As Gavsky always seems to lose a bit of time through the first sector, but then massively catches up. As I think LBR Lewis had a bit of a wobble there, because look how much time Gavsky's caught up as they go up the hill. Gavsky right on the rear bumper now of LBR Lewis. Won't find a way past. Up the hill or down the hill, he's going to have to bide his time, but I think we're going to see another run on the back straight because he is all over the rear bumper. And here we go. Is he going to get another good run? Beautiful drive off that corner there from Gavsky. Slipstream is engaged for him and he is tucked in behind. LBR Lewis defending what is the outside for this corner, but will effectively become the inside for the next corner. Gavsky tucking back in behind, looking for a move on this corner. LBR Lewis just shutting the door, taking the inside again, and sending Gavsky along the long way, keeping the position for another lap. So these two going to battle out for another lap. So this seems to be the corner where Gavsky loses a little bit of time on LBR Lewis, but on this lap it doesn't seem to have lost as much as the lap before. Let's go Gavsky closer at the start of this lap than he was on the last one. And oh, Gavsky's got... Oh, Gavsky into the barrier. What happened there to Gavsky? So we got yellow flags out in that sector. Gavsky has definitely got damage. We saw him hit the barrier quite hard there. Has managed to carry on in second with Rich in third behind. So Rich has managed to get past Hugo. Let's go and have a look at what happened then with that incident with Gavsky. So on board here with Gavsky coming into the corner and just drifts out ever so slightly wide onto that curb and that sends the car. And that is, looks like that is the fight for the lead here over for Gavsky. Similar to that one in Suzuka for him, just dipping a pixel on the curb, and that has cost him. LBR Lewis is well up in the front now, well in the lead of this. Gavsky in second. If he keeps hold of second, LBR Lewis at this point will be 1 point ahead in the championships. He's got that, he'll get that point for fastest lap as it stands. Look how much Rich has closed up on those soft tyres. So Rich in third place on the soft tyres, getting very close to the barrier there as Rich just needs to keep it clean. Gavsky obviously with damage is going to be losing time like no tomorrow. But it is Rich in third now. Hugo fourth. So Hugo has succumbed to Rich and dropped down to fourth. Sprinkler in fifth, but look at the train of cars Sprinkler's got. Sprinkler is in fifth. Froxy in sixth. Froxy going for a move on Sprinkler. We'll watch this one live. Froxy up the inside. Sprinkler no answer to that on the harder tyres. So Froxy now into fifth. Sprinkler sixth. Mario seventh. Gear Kayla is in eighth after the pit stop. Johnny in ninth. So Johnny's managed to get past Old Gear. So Johnny up to ninth. And Old Gear in 10th now. It is LBR Lewis miles out in front after Gavsky's unfortunate incident, but we have got a change for position there. That is Rich going past Gavsky and getting P3, so we'll have a look at how Rich done that. So Rich on the back of Gavsky as they enter into turn 1. Now obviously Gavsky got the damage from the early incident. Rich getting into the slipstream and pulling out and getting a lovely pass done there on Gavsky and getting himself up and into second place. So it's now Rich in second, Gavsky dropping down to third. This would definitely give the championship lead back to LBR Lewis, but Gear Kayla has now set the fastest lap of the race, so he has lost that point. So Gear Kayla doing a 2:04.655. That is a blisteringly quick lap from Gear Kayla. Hugo in fourth position, but now can Hugo hold out to the charging Froxy Dev behind on the soft tyre? Sprinkler in sixth on the hard. Mario on the hard in seventh, and Gear Kayla is coming for them both. The fastest man on track at the moment, absolutely flying at this stage. He's going to catch him up loads through this downhill section and really get him on the back straight. You can see them, they're both battling in front. GK catching up. Look how much he's caught up just through that downhill section. Doing a great job there as GK. And he is definitely, he's going to get a double slipstream down that back straight. He's going to get past Mario. He gets past Mario. And slots it round Sprinkler to get the inside. What a move from GK. 2 cars in one straight. That is GK up to 6th place. Sprinkler down to 7th. Mario down to 8th. Then we've still got Johnny in 9th, but Johnny going wide at the top of the hill there. And that has given old Git 9th place, and Johnny onto the grass again. So Johnny now in 10th. But it's still LBR Lewis in the lead of this race. I think as long as he doesn't bin it here with 3.5 minutes left, this will be the race win for him. Rich in 2nd. Rich, fantastic race here from Rich, starting 6th on the grid, up now in 2nd place. And whilst I'm saying that, don't forget, it's been on your screen since the halfway point of the race. Don't forget to vote for your driver of the day. The link is in the comments and in the description. Get your vote in. It's free to vote, doesn't cost you anything. Get your vote in for who you think should get your driver of the day vote. Gavsky still holding out to P3. 3rd place for Gavsky. Now he does have Hugo not too far behind. Can he hold out to Hugo? That is going to be the question. Because Gavsky going into the barrier, I think, again there. Oh, Hugo into the... Oh, Hugo round. Just slid there as he came into that downhill bit. And into the barrier. That has cost Hugo a podium place. It looks like he was hunting down Gavsky. But here comes Froxy now. I think this is going to be the start of the last lap for everyone. So it's Froxy in 5th. Because we are now approaching, that is 2 minutes remaining in the race. So anyone that crosses the line after this point is definitely going to be their last lap. Froxy in 5th. Giacela in 6th. We're getting closer and closer to Froxy. Can he do it with 1 more lap to go? Sprinkler there in 7th. Sprinkler has a nice gap now to Mario in 8th. Old Git there in 9th. With Johnny in 10th place. But it's still LBR Lewis in the lead, and this should be the last lap. They've only got 1 minute 15 seconds left. I don't think he's going to get round into the line in that time, unless he puts in the fastest lap and some in the race. But there is some consistency. Every lap since it's been on the hard tyre has been a 2:08 point something. It's all within a second of each other since he pitted. Rich has pretty much been doing 2:06s or 2:08s. Obviously he has had to do a couple of overtakes, so that will cost him a little bit of time. Gavsky still holding on to 3rd place there. So that's the podium runners currently at the moment. Hugo still in 4th, but here comes Froxy right behind. Giacela still in 6th. Sprinkler 7th. Mario in 8th. Old Git in 9th. And Johnny in 10th. But approaching the end of the lap and the end of the race, because there is only going to be 10 seconds left until that checker flag comes out, is LBR Lewis. He's got 1 more corner to go, so failing a catastrophic mistake here, that is the checkered flag out, and he comes round to take the race victory and the lead back in the championship with 2 races to go. It is LBR Lewis taking the race win here at Bathurst, with Rich coming round to take 2nd. Fantastic result for Rich. 6th to 2nd for him. A podium, his first podium here in the series. Congratulations to Rich. Gavsky holding on to the podium. Unfortunately for Gavsky, had the pace to win the race. And look behind, Hugo is going to cross the line in 4th, just from Foxy in 5th, with Gear Kayla in 6th. So a photo finish there between Hugo and Foxy, but Hugo holding on the position. It's going to be Sprinkler who will take 7th, with Mario coming round to take 8th, or just about coming round as he goes on the grass there, but will take 8th place for Mario. Old Git will come home to take 9th, so good result from Old Git to take 9th place. Still got a couple more corners to go. So failing to muck up into this braking zone, which he has, and cuts across the grass. There's track limits there. That's going to bring Johnny's right behind. So Old Git failing a mistake in this corner, not to give him commentator's curse. Old Git now will cross the line in 9th, with Johnny there in 10th place. But your race winner for tonight was LBR Lewis, with Rich in 2nd, Gavsky 3rd. Wow, what a fantastic race that was here for round 8. It is definitely hotting up in the championship all across there, with only 2 rounds left to go. Next week we are back and we will be at Road Atalanta. But let's have a look at what that's done to the championship table after that round. So on the bottom half of the table is now D Young in 15th, Huguenoy there in 14th, Baldy in 13th, Wacky 12th. That has moved Rich, aka Mad J, up into 11th with that fantastic 2nd place. And then you've got Fatman there in 10th, Johnny in 9th, with Drew in 8th. And looking at the top half of the table, it is Foxy in 7th, Mike there in 6th, Gear Kayla 5th, Sprinkler in 4th, Mario 3rd, Gavsky drops down to 2nd, LBR Lewis takes the lead back of the championship. So 3 points between the leaders, has swung 3 points in the other direction, and Mario and Sprinkler there on level points for 3rd in the championship. It is hotting up massively. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in and watching tonight. Do not forget to vote for your driver of the day. You can find that down in the comments below. We'll be back, as I said, next week for Road Atalanta. 2 rounds left of the championship. Who's going to take it? We're going to find out very soon over the next couple of weeks. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll catch you next time.